Join me today as we make lamb chops two ways. We're making them both in the air fryer and on the stovetop. And these ones have a lovely persillade sauce, which is not really a sauce. It's persillade like a topping. It's parsley and breadcrumbs, panko breadcrumbs, plenty of garlic, a little bit of Dijon mustard, and yeah, some lemon zest. So stick with me. You're gonna want this recipe. I have my air fryer ready, and I also have this cast iron skillet. So we're gonna see which way works best, which way has the best flavor. So the other day I was at Costco and picked up a whole big package of lamb chops, bone-in lamb chops. Not inexpensive, but it is coming up on the Easter season, so maybe this would be a good meal to serve. We shall see. But I'm going to be cooking them in, like I said, both the air fryer and stovetop method to see which is better. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is marinate the lamb chops. And that's going to take about 30 minutes before we start any sort of cooking. So I'm going to lay the lamb chops in a baking dish. And I have 10 of them here. It's just about a little over 4 pounds. These are Australian lamb chops. Again, I did purchase them at Costco. And there's 10 of them in the package. So we'll do 5 in the air fryer and then 5 on the stovetop in a cast iron skillet. So there's the chops. So the marinade for the chops will be approximately 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. If you're not making 10 lamb chops, then of course cut back on this amount of garlic. Unless you really like garlic, which I can say I really like garlic. So I would probably do the same amount even if I was making 5. But anyways, about 1 tablespoon of the minced garlic, fresh minced garlic. And you'll need approximately 1 tablespoon of red wine. This is red wine vinegar, but you can use any vinegar you like, red wine vinegar. And to that, you'll need to add some avocado oil. So I'm going to say that's about 1/4 cup of avocado oil. We'll give all that a nice whisk and then pour it on the chops, and then we will flip the chops so both sides get covered in the marinade. Now the vinegar in the marinade will help to tenderize the lamb chops, and of course the oil and garlic will help to flavor them. Never a bad thing. And the oil will also help to make sure that the seasonings, the salt and pepper, stick to the chops. It's like most of my garlic is just kind of stuck on one side of the dish, but that's okay. We'll make sure to get all the lamb chops coated with garlic. I'm going to let it sit at room temperature for about 30 minutes, and that way the chill will be taken off the lamb just a little bit so that cooking time isn't quite as lengthy as it would be if they were fully chilled. Once you get both sides of the chops marinated in the oil and vinegar, we'll season both sides with salt and pepper. It's important to season both sides, especially since these are very thick chops. And while these are marinating, we will start the persillade sauce, which is really simple to make. And now we have some curly leaf parsley. Ideally, I would probably be using the flat leaf parsley, but this will work just fine. My husband actually picked it up at the store for me, and I forgot to specify flat leaf. But I have no problem with curly leaf parsley. So we're going to want a good couple of cups of this without the big thick stems. So be careful with that. You really just want the leaves of the parsley. And we're going to mince it pretty finely. Do it like Ina does. Now if you're interested in this cutting board that I'm using, I really like it. I will link it down below if you're interested in potentially having one in your own kitchen. It's supposed to be easier on the knives. It does tend to scratch, which I'm a little disappointed about that. The wooden cutting boards are harbor bacteria depending on if you don't clean them properly, and sometimes the plastic boards will harbor bacteria and also shed a little bit of their plastic into the food. So nothing you really would want to have happen. So the stainless steel one is a really good option. Now if you wanted, you could also run the parsley in a food processor, and that'll make quick work of it, but I didn't want it to blend into like a paste, so I decided to do this part by hand, but you can certainly use a food processor. Now to the parsley in the bowl, you want to add plenty of freshly minced garlic that you saw me do just a little bit ago, and I'm also going to add some fresh lemon zest. Now I doubt this is a traditional persillade, French persillade, but I'm just kind of winging it with what I think will taste very good with the lamb chops. The lemon should help cut through the richness, as will the Dijon mustard that we're going to add, and panko breadcrumbs. A little odd, but nice texture. And some really good quality extra virgin olive oil. Now this persillade would go great on vegetables of any kind. Fish would be lovely, shrimp, shellfish, beef, lamb of course, which is what we're doing today, and chicken, really. It would also be really good mixed in with a salad. You can keep this persillade mixed up in the refrigerator for probably a good 7 to 10 days if it's in an airtight container. So make some for yourself and just keep it in there and sprinkle it on whatever you like, whenever you like. Next up, a good squeeze of Dijon mustard, about 2 teaspoons, and a healthy glug of really good quality olive oil. There, I'm going to say that's about a half a cup. I'm going to mix it up and see what the consistency looks like. I don't really want it to be a paste, and I don't really want it to be a sauce. I kind of want it to be something that can be sprinkled over the lamb chops. So I think this looks pretty good right now. And also when I add the panko, I don't want it to immediately, I know panko should remain crunchy, but I don't want it to make the panko soggy. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper. There's some pepper. Give it another good stir. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the panko. Okay, I'm just going to sprinkle some in from the box. Panko is a Japanese breadcrumb, and they do stay nice and crispy. You'll have seen me use them before in recipes on my blog, but oh, this looks really good. I really like the consistency of this. I may add a little bit more panko, but I'm going to let it sit first and see what happens. So now this is done, and the chops are almost done marinating. So we're just about ready to carry on. Okay, you guys, this persillade smells amazing. You can smell the parsley, of course, and the garlic comes through nicely, as does the lemon, and I can even smell the olive oil. So I'm so excited about putting this on these lamb chops today. And I think I'm also going to sprinkle this on top of some asparagus that I have an idea in mind for. So stick with me, see what happens with this persillade next. Okay, so the chops have marinated about 30 minutes, and now I'm going to add 5 of them to my air fryer screen basket, and I'm going to add 5 of them to my cast iron skillet, which is preheating right now over medium-high heat. I'm going to sear them in a little olive oil. These are some good sized chops, you guys. I'm gonna put them in a preheated air fryer, 400 degrees Fahrenheit air fryer. I'm gonna grab this one that's similar in size for about 8 minutes. After 8 minutes time, I will check the temperature, the proper internal temperature for lamb chop, bone-in lamb chops. For medium well, or medium rare rather, is 145. I'm gonna go a little bit less than that because I like mine just a teeny bit pink, not overly of course. So I'm gonna shoot for 140, 145 on the instant read thermometer, but I will be flipping them halfway. And now I will go ahead and place the chops in the pan. And the hardest part about it is not turning them. We're going to let them sear for a good 5 minutes on the first side, and then we'll flip them and sear them again on the second side. But I can tell you, I smell them already, and they smell very good. Okay, here are the air fryer chops out of the air fryer after 8 minutes time. And I'm going to go ahead and take their temperature internally with the instant read thermometer, and we'll see what we have. Stick it into the thickest part of the chop. Not all the way through, of course. Okay, so we have quite a long ways to go because right now it's reading between 79 and 82 degrees. So in order to get to 140, we got a ways to go. So what I'm going to do is take my tongs, give them a good flip, and stick them back in. See you in 8 more minutes. Okay, after the lamb chops on the stovetop cook for an additional 5 minutes in the cast iron, I'm going to pop them into the oven, a preheated oven, 375, for about 10 minutes. Okay, so these have been in the air fryer for a total of 16 minutes, 8 minutes on 400. Then I took them out and flipped them, and I put them back in for another 8 minutes on 400, and they're starting to look really, really tasty, and they smell really good. So we'll take their temperatures one more time and see where we stand. Now, after they come out of the oven or the air fryer or however you're cooking them, you'll want to cover them so they can rest and so the juices can redistribute. And also, while that happens, their temperatures will rise a little bit. It's called carryover cooking. So I'm going to say these are done, so I will tent them, cover them with foil, and we'll let them rest about, I don't know, five minutes or so. The other lamb chops that were done on the stove top and finished in the oven are in the oven right now, finishing up, and they should be done soon. So we'll let these rest. Just took these lamb chops out of the oven, and they do look good. I'm almost tempted to say that the skillet makes them more appealing than the air fryer, but you be the judge. And then I'm gonna quick take the temperature and see if we're finished cooking. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes for the chops from the air fryer, and I'm gonna go ahead and put them on a platter. But before I do that, let's cut into the first one and see how it looks on the inside. Well, now, I would say this is perfectly cooked. Of course, if you want it a little bit more done, go ahead and keep it in the air fryer a little bit longer, but I would say this to me is perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the other air fryer chops on this platter before adding persillade. And I have to differentiate which side is what. So this first side will be the air fryer side, and then this second side will be the iron skillet and the oven. Okay, now you be the judge. What side looks better to you? More appetizing, the air fryer side, these 5 over here, or the skillet and oven side, these ones over here. I'm gonna go ahead and pour the juices that are on the plate onto the chops instead of letting that go to waste. Yum. Okay, and now for the moment we've all been waiting for, or maybe that's just been me, but I'm gonna top the chops with the persillade we made earlier. And this should be the perfect combination. The richness of the lamb chops, the bright flavor of the parsley and garlic and the persillade. Plus, it's just plain old pretty. I hope you think so as much as I do. It's time to eat. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel.